Welcome, y'all. It's Wes with DIY Food Plot Pro. Thank you so much for joining us. We have got 3 fields on around 110 acre farm, 3 little tiny food plots that all together would not equal 1.5 acres. I'm guarantee it. Probably wouldn't even equal an acre and a quarter. One's about as big as a garden spot, maybe a 1/10 of an acre. This one, maybe a 1/3 of an acre. And the next one is probably close to 1/2 of an acre. So we're looking at somewhere around an acre, acre and a quarter. And we are going to plant beans in here. It is the 1st of June. The ground's pretty decent right now. It's a little on the heavy side. I would never have thought about planting something like this in soybeans in the past, but as you watched my video on how to protect tiny food plots from a couple weeks ago, I have had remarkable success with that system, and I'm going to put that system to the test. That was the main reason that I'm planting soybeans here. Obviously, I think soybeans is a great food plot anyway. Would love to have a field of soybeans down here come October, November, December, for my deer hunters to hunt over and interseed some brassicas, some annual clovers, cereal grains, and that would just be an absolute monster of a hunt down here. Last year we struggled down here. We planted some crimson clover and some cereal rye, but we did not get any rain to germ it up. We finally got enough rain to germ it up, but we got a frost directly after that. It killed a lot of the seed and was not viable. We saw what hunting this farm was like with no food, and I didn't like it. I want food on this farm, and I'm going to get it. One way or another, we're gonna have some food on this farm for this fall. There's no way to get my big planter in here. Most of these are cattle paths from many moons ago. There is no ag anywhere around this area for probably 5 miles in any direction. So there is zero soybeans, corn, alfalfa. There might be a spot of clover somebody's got somewhere around here. I don't know about it, but I'm just guessing. But there's very minimal food on these farms, and I think if we can put food on this farm, we can make this farm stand out from all the neighbors. So what I'm doing today, there's no way I get my big planter in here. I don't have a 2-row planter. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a broadcast soybean. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna fill the seed up in my broadcast spreader, my little hand spreader. I'm gonna spread it over this, and then I will till it in. Now, I sprayed this a month ago with Dual and Roundup. So the Roundup's gonna control everything that was growing at that point, and then the Dual will sit there and be your residual to hold the grasses off. You can see I've got a few weeds here, but I really don't have any grass. Grass is where I really get into trouble when I'm tilling. If I can be grass free, I'm in pretty decent shape. But if I have to till through a place that looks like a yard, that's when you start having a lot of trouble with tilling things in. So I think this will till okay. You can see a pretty good green spot there. That is from a tree that's fell. I've got the bucket on the tractor. I'm gonna go ahead and push that out while I'm here. We had a lot of winds here about 2 weeks ago. Had some, I thought 70 to 80 mile an hour, but they actually did the survey. We had an EF1 tornado went about 100 to 110 miles an hour. We got a tremendous amount of trees down in all the food plots. It's been a giant task this year just keeping these clean, pushing them out of the way. I'm excited to try these motion detectors out here. I think this is going to be a really good experiment. There's no more spot for soybeans to be overbrowsed, these 3 tiny little food plots right here. Most anybody would not think about planting these in soybeans. It would just be absolutely no, don't even think about it. I am planting a little bit higher rate, but I'm not planting 500,000 to 600,000 like I typically do. Reason that I'm not, I want to put this to the test. So I'm planting a little over 200,000, probably 2.25, 225,000 seeds per acre. And I just want to see what this is going to do out here. So let's get to food plotting. So we're back down in this tiny little plots that we planted. It's a full broadcast soybeans, basically a standard ag rate. We went a little bit heavy because we're broadcasting, but we did not plant 500,000-600,000 like I have in the past. I wanted to put the scarecrow and the other devices that I'm going to use to protect these plots to the test. So I did not want to kind of inflate that by planting way more soybeans down here than what you typically would. These soybeans are just coming up. So it's been about 3.5 days. Perfect timing. I was really scared that they had already broke through and the deer had already found them. And you know, as I've told you on the channel, once they eat them, when they first come up, they're done. I was scared that I was a little bit late, but I'm not. These beans are just now beginning to get out of the ground. There's plenty of soil moisture. All I did was I just did a full broadcast, and then I went right behind the tractor and I tilled everything in. So there's 3 little fields on this farm. All are absolutely tiny. This is by far the biggest one. There's not a lot behind you at all, maybe 1/10 of an acre. So there's no way this is even 1/2 of an acre. I'm gonna say maybe 3/10 at the most, 4/10. And so you're talking little bitty tiny plots and absolutely no agriculture anywhere near. This is gonna be a test for you guys that are in same boat that I am in this one, is that there's not a lot of competition around. There's not a lot of food around to be able to spread these deer out. When they find these soybeans, they're gonna absolutely try to hammer them. So we've got to try to protect this as best we possibly can. I made this scarecrow this morning. I put Irish Spring soap. I got a bar. I cut it all up, put it in all his pockets. I'm hopeful that that was going to be a good visual deterrent, as well as when these deer see this thing, they're going to go downwind and they're going to smell that human scent from the clothes that's been in the house, as well as Irish Spring soap, and they're going to get out of Dodge. So not looking to try to feed an entire herd here all summer long, trying to make some food plots for this fall and this winter months, and that's what I wanted to try to base this off of. The problem with corn down here is you have so many woods on every side, there's no way to take care of the coons. And coons are a real issue in areas where you have really small plots. They love corn and they will absolutely wipe it out. Where here, coons not going to do too much here. So this is mainly going to be groundhog and deer that are going to be the biggest predators of what we're trying to do here. So we've got the scarecrow in the 2 biggest fields. I've only got 3 scarecrows made up right now, so don't have enough to go in the little garden field. I use these and another product. These are motion detector solar charged alarms. I'm going to go ahead and put these out in this soybean field. That way what happens is, I'll demonstrate this for you. It's got a little clip on the back. I take 2 zip ties, take a 3-pound sledgehammer, beat that in the ground, and then I zip tie this to that stick. Every time it senses motion, somewhere between, I think it said 6 and 8 meters, which should be 18 to 24 feet roughly, it sends off a siren. So, and then the strobe light works as well. So I'll demonstrate that for you, but I'm just gonna show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go around the perimeter of this field, hope to put about 5 in this field, 5 in the other field, and then maybe I'll put 2 up there in a little garden spot if I have enough, but if not, I will just concentrate on my 2 bigger plots. So once you turn these things on, they've got about a 45-second rest period that they don't work, kind of like your trail cameras kind of deal. And then after that, you get out in front of them. I'm assuming these are charged from the factory, but they may not be. Yeah. So just gonna send an alarm. I don't know if you can see the strobe light. It's working as well. I will definitely keep you guys updated on this plot. Not expecting 50 bushel beans here. This is the poorest ground that I've got. I mean, this is just absolute poor dirt. It's solid rock, it's flint, big pieces of flint all over it. I mean, it's just, this is just solid all in it. So not quality soil by any means. If this makes 25 bushel beans, it will be a miracle. As the old timers used to say, it could rain bull crap on this every single day and it's not gonna make 50 bushel beans. And I'd say this is 100% this ground. I wanted to mention on the beans, these beans are a 4.8 ag bean. So in my area, a 4.7 or higher is pretty much gonna go until a frost. that's going to continue to stay green. If you get up in the 5.0s, they would 100% go until the frost. These will likely go until mid-October here, which is typically when our first frost would be. So these are just a 4.8 standard ag bean Roundup Red. One important note to mention, this tillage pass that I did was solely to work the beans into the ground. It was not to try to kill the weeds and grass that was out here. I sprayed about 4 to 5 weeks ago with Roundup and Dual. Dual was my pre-emergent, and it pretty much kept this field clean other than just a few weeds. So it's still fairly clean out here. And I just came out here and I ran the tiller about as fast as the tractor would pull it. I spread the beans first, and then I ran the tiller right behind it, and had rain coming that evening. We did get some rain. I would have liked to have had more on these rocks. It don't take these rocks long to dry out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like and subscribe button if you hadn't already.